The couple was reborn on the day they met at the same time. However, the woman didn't feel happy at all. Even when her husband rushed towards her, she deliberately pretended not to know him and dodged aside. It turned out that in their previous life, they had been a loving couple. However, the woman became permanently disabled due to a genetic defect. But the man not only didn't dislike her, he even proposed to her. The man's loyalty moved the girl deeply. However, the man's family didn't allow him to marry a physically disabled woman as his wife. So his evil-minded eldest brother took the opportunity to seize the position of heir from the man. At this time, the woman realized that her existence had been holding the man back. However, the man thought that husband and wife should support each other. Seeing his wife was depressed, the man took the initiative to take her out to relax. Unexpectedly, they encountered a serious fire. However, it was impossible for the woman with disabled legs to escape, but the man refused to give up no matter what. In this way, both of them died in the fire. However, when the woman opened her eyes again, she found herself back in her college days, and at this moment, she and her husband hadn't met yet. So, in order not to hold her husband back, the woman decided to avoid all the time points when she might meet her husband. But as soon as she went downstairs, she found that the man was looking at her. However, the girl had a bad premonition. Seeing the man running towards her excitedly, the girl instantly realized that her husband had also been reborn. She rushed towards her husband joyfully, but at the moment when she rushed out, the girl regretted it, because in this life, she couldn't hold the man back again. So the girl, at the moment when they were about to meet, dodged aside to avoid her husband. The man was stunned, because after loving each other for many years, he had already had a tacit understanding with the girl, and he also knew clearly what the tears in the corners of the girl's eyes meant. After returning to the dormitory, the woman suddenly heard that her boyfriend had transferred to her major. However, her husband was clearly a genius in the finance department. Now he suddenly transferred to the chemistry department, which was simply ruining his future. However, the girl didn't want the man to ruin his future for her, so she rushed out to look for the man. At this time, the man seemed to sense something and opened the door. In the next second, he hugged the girl in his arms without hesitation. The girl remembered the tragedy of their previous life. The girl forcibly endured the reluctance in her heart, broke free from the man's embrace, pretended that a stranger was harassing her, and told the man that she would never like a person like him in this life. And these heartless words were like a sharp blade, hurting the man and also stabbing herself, since she clearly knew that it was doomed to be a tragedy if he was with her. It would be better to keep a distance from the man earlier.